10 tips for a good night's sleep. Sleep hygiene. How to sleep get better. If you can't fall asleep easily even after counting 100 sheep, try the procedure described below. We will share 10 tips for a good night's sleep that 12 sleep experts share in common. And before we start, smash that subscribe button for more videos like this in the future. Insomnia is affecting an increasing number of people these days. You've certainly tried a variety of methods to conquer insomnia, but we've collated 10 sleep expert ideas to help you get a decent night's sleep. I too experienced several sleepless nights. I recall how uncomfortable and difficult it was to fall asleep no matter how many times I counted. I looked for accounts from domestic and international sleep specialists about how to overcome insomnia, and there were several themes that emerged. The first option I chose was to confront and accept the current unpleasant circumstance. Let's go over them one by one. 1. Clear your mind. How to get rid of insomnia. The first step is to acknowledge the burden in your heart. It is the most basic yet realistic narrative about falling asleep only when you empty your mind before going to bed. You will have no trouble falling asleep if you can emotionally organize difficult situations in your thoughts. However, because this is very complicated, I will only recommend one option. If you can't sleep due to your worries, get out of bed every now and then and write down your worries and stressful events on a note. Worry is frequently easier to deal with and put down on paper than you think. If you organize your problem and write it out simply, it may be a smaller problem than you realize, and a solution may emerge in some circumstances. Sleepless nights are frequently triggered by a jumbled mind and ideas. So, instead of a daily diary, a set of processes to get your worries out of your head and face them will suffice. 2. Establish a consistent sleeping habit. In order to establish a normal sleep schedule, we teach children to go to bed at 8 or 9 p.m. When I was a kid, my parents would always do these things. This isn't just for kids. It's also for grown-ups. Children frequently fall asleep quickly if a fairy tale is lightly read and soothing music is played. And when you wake up the next day, you will be energized to begin your day. The human body's cells are considered to be programmed to remember 24 hours. When I was younger, I observed my father waking up without an alarm clock and wondered how he did it. To my astonishment, I was able to wake up at that time after falling asleep after telling myself, I wake up at 6 a.m. before I go to bed. Of course, in a situation where you go to bed at the same time every day and have a routine that assures adequate sleep time. 3. Before going to bed, unwind and rest. Before going to bed, it is vital to construct a buffer zone. This is an expansion of what has been discussed previously. It is vital to write down all worries in advance and to complete work or computer works 1 hour before bedtime, as well as activity plans for the following day. Even severe activity is not recommended before going to bed. The process of resting your body and mind is preceded so that you can sleep deeply and quickly even if you sleep for the same amount of time. Complex thoughts or activities in the hours preceding up to night can disrupt your sleep. 1 hour before night, a monotonous, relaxing activity is recommended. Activities that aid sleep include reading, listening to soothing music, meditating, gentle stretching, and deep breathing. It is stated that emptying the mind is the most effective technique to fight insomnia if it leads to activities that lighten the body. 4. Do not leave electrical devices in the bedroom. When it comes to overcoming insomnia, it appears to be a story that many people can relate to. It can't be that difficult in this day and age when so much is done using smartphones. Everyone has had the sensation of being unable to fall asleep and feeling exhausted even after sleeping due to time spent on social media, YouTube, articles, and so on. Blue light from cell phones is thought to interfere with sleep, and information that simply passes by also overworks the brain during sleep, when the brain needs to relax. Those who lay down their cell phones before going to bed for only one day and simply lie down and fall asleep will notice a significant difference. If you spend more than 30 minutes on your smartphone before going to bed, you may get insomnia depending on your position, but you will also experience shoulder and neck ache. It is vital to make an effort to sleep with a clear head and to complete all tasks and checks 30 minutes before going to bed. 5. Establish a suitable sleeping environment. Many sensitive people are unable to sleep even in the presence of a minor light or sound. As a result, the bedroom should provide you with the finest sleeping environment possible. Darkness is the most effective way to encourage sleep. It is vital to block the light by putting up thick drapes or blinds to prevent the street lights outside the window or the city's unending lights. If this is difficult, a blindfold or earplugs can be helpful. Temperature is a critical aspect in getting a good night's sleep. It is stated that the ideal temperature for sleeping is around 18 degrees. However, you must first determine and optimize the temperature and atmosphere that are most conducive to sleeping. If you must share a bed with your lover, you must devise a solution, such as a separate duvet. Again, any ventilation or other duties should be completed at least 30 minutes before bedtime. 6. Dinner should be light and hot. Dinner should consist of something light and minimal in calories. It is very important to eat 4 hours before going to bed so that the stomach can operate and rest together during sleep time. It's also worth mentioning that consuming rice, oats, and dairy causes your desire to sleep to grow. Cold foods, spicy, salty, and too sweet foods, on the other hand, should be avoided. Overeating can also be harmful. All of these causes can disrupt sleep. You should also avoid drinking alcohol and caffeine-containing beverages. Rather, it can be a factor in the process of decomposing alcohol that wakes you up to drink water in a dehydrated state or wakes you up in the middle of the night to urinate. 7. Avoid taking naps unless you are in a severe scenario. Avoiding having a nap can assist you fall asleep at night, especially if you are suffering from sleep disorders and insomnia. When you don't get enough sleep, you feel compelled to compensate by napping. Napping, on the other hand, can do more harm than good because it makes falling asleep at night more difficult. It is critical to avoid napping as much as possible, even if it is difficult, until the previously described normal sleep pattern is established. Taking a nap is not a bad idea for people who can fall asleep with their heads on at any time. Please keep in mind that this is a limited story for persons who suffer from a sleep issue and are unable to sleep at night. 8. Avoid keeping a clock in your bedroom. I don't need to keep track of when I go to bed and when I can't sleep till now. Many people who suffer from insomnia have a clock in their bedroom, but the sound of the second hand must have been rather loud at times. Trying to sleep but continually checking the time because you can't sleep makes you impatient and kicks all of the things I described earlier. You should take the clock out of your bedroom. If you require an alarm, you must hide the clock. It's also a good idea to use an electronic watch that doesn't hear the second hand turning. Smartphones are now utilized as clocks that replace adequate alarm features. But those who still keep their watches by their beds should be cautious. 9. Do not force yourself to sleep unless you are exhausted. If you can't sleep even when you attempt, you don't have to battle in discomfort to push yourself to sleep. However, it is not advisable to glance at the smartphone or watch TV at that time. It is best to conduct the light activity recommended in number 3 above at this time. Reading a book is the finest pastime among them, but keep in mind that reading an ebook on a smartphone is not helpful. It is stated that a person becomes fatigued and ready to sleep every 90 to 100 minutes. Do you recall falling asleep on the couch while watching TV? If you go back to bed and declare you need to sleep, you may have had instances where your eyes opened unexpectedly and you couldn't sleep. I get to a point where I'm so fatigued that I think I'm going to fall asleep without recognizing it. You may then retire to your bed. Remember that you should be tired from activities such as reading a book, not fatigued from activities such as watching TV or using a smartphone. 10. Do not rely on drugs. Remember that sleeping drugs should only be used as a last resort. If you have recurrent days of insomnia, you should seek treatment from a sleep professional to identify and resolve the underlying issue. When you visit a specialist, you are not required to begin by prescribing medication. We go through the process of determining what the problem is, but in a mild case, it is a state of mental or mental bewilderment. There is a good chance that you can solve this yourself using the steps outlined above. Sleep disturbances caused by bodily abnormalities, on the other hand, can be treated with medication. In general, if you have insomnia for more than 3 days a week and it lasts for 3 months, you should seek counseling. Rather of taking sleeping medications to achieve quick results, it is preferable to talk with a doctor. Before concluding, if you like this video, don't forget hit that like button. And subscribe to this channel for more videos like this in the future. Also, be sure to turn on the bell notification so you never miss any of our videos. I've been in a difficult situation and have been unable to sleep at night, even when lying in bed. And I've been lying down for approximately an hour after the sun rises due to exhaustion. So I understand how draining sleeplessness can be. It was the period when I couldn't put it down because I was clinging to problems that couldn't be solved and thinking about them in bed. At the time, I tried everything, including drinking alcohol to fall asleep, but in the end, I couldn't take it anymore since my body was damaged. I researched many methods for overcoming insomnia, tried them all, and collected only the best ones. It will be more effective than you believe if you follow it once. So, what do you think about this topic? Let us know what you think in the comments section.